Hey Dee, did you see that comment I sent you that someone put on our newsletter last week?
I did. It was the sweetest. She wrote, I must tell you, I love the feeling that I'm in on a conversation between two gardeners.
That is so lovely. I hope all our listeners feel that way. And I've gotten feedback from people that say, like they're listening to us while they're talking, and then they find themselves answering something or making a comment out loud. And it's like, I hope nobody heard that.
That's funny. Well, that's what we're going for. I mean, it is a conversation between two gardeners, and we would converse anyway about
Right.
gardening, but this way we do it and we share it with other people.
That is true. That is true. Well, I'm going to get ready to start this episode so we can share it with more people too.
Okay, cool.
Welcome to the Garden Angelus, where we chat about flowers, veggies, and all the best dirt. I'm Carol Michael from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Where you have.
Oh, where I have a suburban garden measured in square feet. It's about a third of an acre.
And I am Dee Nash from Guthrie, Oklahoma, and at the present time, I still have a large garden out in the country.
We are Garden Angelus because we love gardening and we want you to love it too.
Yes, we do. And we aren't afraid to spill all our gardening secrets, the good, the bad, and even the ugly. But that's enough. Let's get on to this week's episode. I don't know what is wrong with me today. Let's move on.
Okay. You want to hear about my garden
I
update?
do. I would love to hear your garden update. Let me get a little sip of tea.
Okay, well, it's still winter, so we had the briefest of warm-ups early in the week. I went to garden club on Monday. But I now almost literally at lunchtime on Wednesday, the temperature went all the way back down. And this morning, I'm sure it was in the teens. But the garage pelargoniums are still going well.
Mhm.
I've got houseplants have been watered. I've tended microgreens. I wrote a Garden Blogger's Bloom Day post.
What?
I did. This
And
is
it was the 19th year?
the finish of the 19th year because I actually started in February. And I put on that post. This is it. I'm doing this next year and I'm done. That's 20 years. That's way longer than it should ever have lasted.
Yeah. I don't do it anymore. I don't update my blog anymore. I finally decided that I would just do Instagram and I only do it 3 times a week because it seems to work better that way.
Yeah, I don't do my blog as much. I still have my weekly In the Garden with Carol Substack, which I enjoy doing. And
Hmm.
then, of course, my Lost Ladies. We'll talk more about them later.
Hmm.
So, did you get a bunch of seeds from National Garden Bureau
I
this
did. I
week?
got a bunch of seeds. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
excited.
a whole load of them.
We should go through that next week, maybe. I don't know.
We should talk about what's exciting in there because there's some seeds in there like, ooh, goody. So,
I always feel that way about those seeds. So, anything else going on? Oh, you added them to your spreadsheet, or you're going to.
I'm going to. I thought I'd finished my spreadsheet and then, of course I found a few packets of seeds like, oh yeah, those too. And then those came sometime in the middle of the week and I just haven't had a chance to go back into the spreadsheet and update it. But anyway, your week was I don't want to say adventuresome, but
I wouldn't go that far. I didn't do a lot of gardening this week because Bill had neck surgery on Monday. And so basically I've taken care of him all week. And the extent of my gardening is in my plain favorites section, which is absolutely nothing. We'll go to the next part. I mean, there's just no way to garden, and I haven't had much desire to.
well, I can understand that. Oh, it is winter time after all.
It is winter, and he takes a lot of care because he's a man. No
But
offense.
I want to make a comment. You talked about posting on Instagram.
Yeah,
So but I know like stories only last 24 hours. Is that right?
right, right.
So people need to subscribe and look at your stories because I could tell that things were going well. You were cooking up a storm. And I thought, that chicken noodle soup or vegetable soup or whatever it was, that
It's
looked delicious.
chicken noodle. You know what? That's funny that you should say that. So I have a friend in the game, and her name is Allison, and she goes by Alate in the game. And the other day she said, "What are you cooking for dinner?" Because that's what you talk about when you're not fighting a battle. And I said, "I'm getting ready to make chicken noodle soup." And she's I should explain, she's from England, Northern England. And she said, how do you make chicken noodle soup? And so I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll show you on Instagram. And I even said, this is for my friend Allie, and she loved it. So that was fun. I have cooked a lot this week because we've been home and we haven't gone anywhere, and I wanted him to have good, nutritious food. So, oh, and I also went to, while he was having surgery, the day of and the day after both, I went to eat at a place in Oklahoma City called the Red Cup. This relates to vegetables. It's a vegan restaurant and the food is amazing. And I actually think I have a picture of it on my phone. We can put it in the newsletter. There's
Okay.
jambalaya that they make with red beans and rice and all of these vegetables, and they make this beautiful jalapeno cream sauce, which is not made with dairy. I think it's made with cashews. Anyway, it was really good. So there you go. I was around vegetables and I ate them.
So, but I had a question for you, and then you kept going, and I've completely forgot it. Oh, I know. So your friend's game name is Alate. Are you Dite, or what's your game
No,
name?
I'm red dirt, of course. Yeah.
Red Dirt. Okay. I
And
thought
they
I was gonna.
call and they call me Red. They call me Red with two D's. Because when I first started over there, they were like calling me Red Dirt. And I was like, guys, let's just shorten it to Red because this is too hard, right?
I was
And
gonna
then,
go with
then
Dite.
no, no, I don't know why it's Alate. I should ask her that. No, everybody has totally different names.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite this week?
My favorite this week were the flowers that I saw at Sprouts, and I should have bought some. I just was really busy and I forgot. But they were really something. I
Oh,
mean, they were beautiful and they just have really great seasonal bouquets. If you can't, and flower farmers right now in Oklahoma aren't growing anything mostly. So I saw these and they were just gorgeous. And then I also did a short video on Instagram about Annabelle hydrangea. And I've written about her. I've said she's beautiful in all four seasons, and she is. And she's still beautiful in the video in her winter garment. What
cool.
about you?
Well, my favorite relates to your favorite because I think it was 2 years ago. I bought a little moth orchid at the grocery store at Fresh Time, and
Hmm.
it's a miniature, and it has now been reblooming since like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, around Friday. It's got two really nice blooms open. It's white. It's gorgeous, pretty delicate. You just think, how did that little nub become this big branch with these beautiful white blooms on it? It's just amazing. It's miraculous. It's beautiful.
I think they are beautiful. They're just amazing. I found one at Target. I almost bought it. It was gorgeous. It was in the round. They'd taken them all and put them so that it was beautiful. It was
Oh,
$60 for a little
no.
bowl. I said, no, I don't think so.
Well, I went to Target this past week. I don't go to Target that
I
often.
love Target, but I don't go very often. Uh-huh.
Well, they had some tub trugs,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I think they're probably designed to be used in the house, but they were flexible and stuff. A huge, $8.
Wow, that's a good deal.
So
Way better than the Orchid.
I bought one and I thought I got it home and my others have splits in them and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And so I really need to just like recycle them. I'm assuming I can recycle them. I'm gonna recycle them. If they don't like them, they can get rid of them. But I thought I got to go back to Target, risk going in and seeing other stuff that I want, and get another one because I mean $8 online. They're like $30, $40
It must
bucks.
have been marked down, right?
No, I think that's
No?
the regular price.
That's crazy. Okay, well, that's cool. All right, you ready for the question of the week?
I am.
The question of the week actually came from Jennifer at Ladybug Lane Flower Farm, and she asked me last night when I was goofing off and listening to music. So, what type of lavender, and what she means by that is, well, I guess type would work too, because it could be the genus anyway, or the species. So, what type of lavender performs best in Oklahoma? And then I'm going to ask Indiana. So, I'll say
Okay.
Oklahoma first. In Oklahoma, it's phenomenal, hands down. Phenomenal lavender handles our humidity, variations in soil. It handles it better than anything else. Also, the types like Grosso, and I did not go look up what the species is of the Grosso type lavender, but it's the ones with the wider leaves.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I cannot grow, and those come out of like Greece and stuff. the that type. All right, I cannot grow French lavender. I've tried to grow French lavender over and over again. I do not do it well. I can grow some varieties of English lavender, and I absolutely love Spanish lavender, which I don't think is actually Spanish, but it's not hardy in Oklahoma. It's not hardy in Indiana either, and it has the different top on it. But here's the thing. Lavender needs alkaline soil because it really wants to grow in Greece or Turkey,
Right.
or I assume Bulgaria because they're all right there together. And so they have the right kind of soil, at least Greece and Turkey do. I did not ask my friend about lavender. I guess I should have. Anyway, that's where they want to grow. They want kind of arid temperature, arid air. They don't like humidity. They want moderate temperatures, not too hot, not too cold. Hot's better. Um, and so that's one part of it. They also need really good drainage because if you think about the soil in Greece or Turkey, it's very sandy. It's very few minerals, not much compost. They don't want any of that. So I personally find it easier to grow in raised beds or containers. Now, what did you find out about Spanish lavender? Because I saw you looking it up.
No, I didn't look up anything on Spanish lavender. I mean, that's they sell those in pots at Costco in the spring, and you're like, it's so pretty. I want it. And so I bought two this past spring, and
Mhm.
one of them didn't even survive halfway through the summer. So, and I tell people,
They're a little iffy. A lot of times they're
yeah.
pot bound and yeah.
But anyway, it's not the one, it's not going to overwinter. And I don't think French lavenders do very well here. You got to buy an English lavender. What I was looking up was Dolly's Lavender Farm, which the Garden Club visited back in June. And
Yeah.
they have rows and lavender. And I thought, well, I'll just go over here and see what Dolly's growing. And they just call it lavender. It's probably an English lavender.
Yeah, it's
I,
probably an English type. That's what mostly is on the market. I don't like Hidcote, which actually was found at Hidcote. Um, I don't like Munstead either. They don't overwinter well here.
no,
They die. So my advice is grow Phenomenal, which was actually found in Lloyd Traven's garden, Lloyd and Cindy Traven, Peaceful Valley Farm. It's just a good sport. And so there you go. Boy, that was a
yeah,
long answer.
it was. And I would also say, well, I wish I knew what was growing out by the big rock in the Vegetable Garden Cathedral because that is a wonderful lavender. I've no idea the species anymore. Also, by looking up Dolly's Farm, I found out something amazing and wonderful. Thank you very much, Dee.
Mm.
They make a lavender hand soap, which I am in love with. And I bought it back in June. And it's like it's getting smaller and smaller. And I thought, I can't really go out to Dolly's to buy this. They sell online, Dee. I can order it online.
Hallelujah.
So, and even though it's just like 30 minutes down the way, that's too far. So,
We have a lavender farm in Oklahoma too. It's up by Tulsa, and I don't know the name right off my head, but I have bought things from them before at various.
so anyway, after we get done uh, recording this, I'm probably going to order some Dolly's Lavender Farm soap that I want because I'm like, I
Yay.
can't be out of this hand soap.
I
I
bought
wouldn't.
some rose oil. I bought some rose facial oil that has lavender and roses. And I'll talk about it. It's got apricot kernel oil. It's got amazing things for your skin. So I'll let people know when it comes in if I like it. It actually has Rosa Damascena, which
Mhm.
we talked about before. So it's the real deal. It was not
Cool.
cheap. All right, insect of the week. You handled this because you looked it up. You're so good.
So I said dragonflies, and then you said let's talk about damselflies. And so the main thing to know is that dragonflies and damselflies are related,
Yep.
both ancient predatory insects in the order Odonata.
Hmm.
Here's their differences.
Okay, I'm ready.
Damselflies are smaller,
Yep.
more delicate, and have slender bodies. And when damselflies are at rest, they fold their wings
They close their
together.
wings.
When
Yeah.
dragonflies are at rest, their wings are still out there. So the damselfly is not as good a flyer as the dragonfly.
Mm-hmm.
And then damselflies, their eyes are wide apart on one on each side of their head. Dragonflies, they tend to be together. Oh, look at me imitating a dragonfly, touching in the middle of their head. So anyway, and
Don't you
then
love YouTube?
Yeah. So anyway, they both eat insects and other smaller things. And after thinking about it, I think what I was calling dragonflies that are flying around here are actually probably damselflies. So my apologies to the damselflies. I will correctly note who you are next time.
We have both, and they come out at the same time. And one time I misidentified a damselfly as a dragonfly in a picture 1,000 years ago. And my sweet Sharon Lovejoy quietly, privately said, "Hey, that's a damselfly." And that's how I learned that their wings close. So
Yes,
shout
yes.
out to her for telling me. I'm so appreciative. All
Yeah,
right, you want to do the quote?
I do. If the sight of the blue skies fills you with joy, if a blade of grass springing up in the fields has power to move you, if the simple things of nature have a message that you understand, rejoice, for your soul is alive. Eleonora Duse, who is an Italian actress.
Isn't that pretty?
It is very pretty.
So you asked me if I were going to start a new rose garden from scratch, what would I do and what would I plant? Okay, well, first of all, I would look at the well, no, first of all, I would look at the fact of which way does the garden face? What kind of sunlight is it going to get? My personal preference for roses is eastern side of the house because then you get morning sun. Morning sun is the best part. It's the best sun you have, best exposure. The second thing is I would look at my soil, and if I were a really good gardener, the kind like a master gardener, I would have my soil tested. But I'm D Nash, and so I don't test my soil because I don't care that much. And I'll look at it, and if it looks like what I think it's going to look like, then I would take and make sure there's no Bermuda grass in the bed. And I would add back to nature cotton burr hulls because it breaks up the soil. And in the area that I live, especially, well, it'll break up clay and it'll also help with sand. And I live in an area that's sandy. Um, and then,
But wait a minute, Dee, on that soil.
yeah,
Do you recall, did we watch a YouTube with Alan Titchmarsh, who was at the Buckingham Palace Rose Garden?
I don't know if we did or not. I know you did. I didn't watch it.
Well, what they do for soil
Uh-huh.
is they periodically rejuvenate every rose bed.
Yeah, I can see that.
They remove all the roses. And I think now this could be like something I made up in my mind.
This is way too much trouble, but okay. I can
They
tell you.
remove soil down to 30 inches and completely put in all new soil.
That's crazy talk.
I know, but I just wanted to say, don't do that. That's crazy
No, I'm
talk.
not doing that. No, if it were a new planting area, and I'm assuming it is, and then I would go and buy some really good rose fertilizer, and I still like the Mills Rose Magic. Mr. Mills knew what he was doing, and it's all natural. So that's what I would
Cool.
do. You could also use something like Osmocote or one of the pelleted fertilizers. That's up to you. I do have to be careful about the Mills though and make sure it doesn't have any mammal ingredients. That's my problem with, I used to do everything organically, and so I have to be careful of both blood meal, bone meal, of all three, and the other kind of meal. I got to be careful of those. All right, so um, then I would pick out my favorite blousy yet disease resistant roses. Okay. I really love Olivia Rose Austin, Desdemona, and Darcy Bustle. Those are my three favorite ones in the pink range. And I would choose pink. And the reason I would choose pink is because pink is easy to work with. It goes with almost everything. While I love a good yellow rose, they're harder to grow. And I would probably use pink. And then the other thing is, I got a new rose catalog from David Austin. Those all happen to be David Austin roses. And I need to look forward to going through it because I might find something else I really like. And then I also really love Peggy Martin. Peggy Martin is a rambler and she loves to grow straight vertically on a pillar. And I probably would always have her in my garden somewhere if I could do it. Even though she only blooms once, she blooms a long time and it's just an amazing rose. And I love the history of it. And then there's Zephyrin Druin, which is one of the very first roses I ever grew. It is thornless. It can be grown as a pillar rose. It does not like to be laterally stemmed, but it will grow in a fountain shape all by itself because it can be an arching bush. So That's where I would start.
That would be good. And Zephyrin Droin would remind you of Agatha Christie,
It would remind me of Agatha Christie because it's the solution in one of our
one of the Hercule
books.
Poirot mysteries.
Yeah, and I don't remember the name of the book. Oh, Sad Cypress. It's Sad Cypress, isn't it?
Yes. I
Okay.
I don't know, but the person claimed to
I'm
have
almost sure it is.
cut themselves on the rose, and then Hercule says, Zephyrin Droin is thornless.
That's right. She has no prickles, which makes her a great rose to grow along a sidewalk or to grow against. I think she would look great against a fence or something like that, somewhere that children are playing. And that's something you should, and she smells good too. So I would grow all that. And then I think those would look great with pink muhly grass. And yeah, I think that'd be really pretty.
Cool.
That's
So
just
that's,
something I'm thinking about right now. All right, shall I do the next quote?
yes.
Those who don't pick roses in summer won't pick them in winter either. That's supposed to be a German proverb, and it sounds like the Germans, frankly. Very
Uh,
succinct. I play that game with a lot of Germans, and they are very no nonsense, but they're great to play with. They're really good players. Vegetables.
how to keep from being overwhelmed while browsing seed catalogs.
Yeah, that's a good one because it's time.
Right. So first, and Dee, I should have told you to bring your copy because I know you have a copy of,
It's in there in the living room. Yeah, Onward and Upward in the Garden by Katherine White.
yes. And the first essay in here is all about seed catalogs. And as an editor about the New Yorker, she started writing about gardening every once in a while,
Mhm.
and she kind of shocked the gardening world. And this came out in 1958 when she did a review of seed catalogs and nursery catalogs in the New Yorker. So
Mhm.
not only were the nurserymen and seedsmen like, "What? We're in the New Yorker," but the New Yorker people were saying, "What? We're talking about seed catalogs." And she wrote about seed catalogs. She says they are as individualistic, these editors and writers of seed catalogs, as any Faulkner or Hemingway, and they can be just as frustrating or rewarding.
Mhm.
They
I think
have an
that's true.
And she said they have an audience equal to the most popular novelists, and a handful of them are stylists of some note. Even the catalogs with which no man can be associated seem to have personalities of their own.
I love it.
So it's a 100-page essay in my book with the type font they use, but it kind of read that to say that the seed catalogs have been around forever.
Yeah.
And may
There
the
used to
internet
be a lot
gods
more.
never kill the printed seed catalog.
Yeah. There used to be a lot more of them.
Oh yeah.
Even in our time period gardening, I don't get nearly as many as I used to. Because they're expensive to print.
Yeah. I mean, here's my little stash that I brought in here.
Hmm.
And they vary. So the first thing I'd say is to really get the whole experience, grab the physical seed catalogs. And if you're not on the mailing list, go to the website and ask for a catalog, and they should be able to send you one. And
Hmm.
so then you sit down away from the computer and you read them. And this is where everybody talks about 2026, the year of analog. Nothing's quite as analog as those seed catalogs. So I would
Hmm.
go through and I would mark them, I would dog ear them, and then figure out everything and start making lists of what you're going to do. Now,
Hmm.
here's
I
the
like your
thing,
idea about post-it notes.
post-it notes to mark things.
Hmm.
Now, back in the day, and I was just going to look because I don't think they do anymore. Back in the day, there would be an order form.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
I'm just looking to see if, oh, nope, wait a minute. Does Burpee
Does
have an
somebody?
order form?
Oh, come on,
They
really?
do.
That's shocking.
They have an
Okay,
actual order
there
form.
you go.
I would not fill out the actual order form.
No,
I would,
I would not
unless
either.
the way you might fill it out is if you want to have a handwritten record of what you actually ordered, but I would actually order it online.
I order it online because they send you an email and then you've got the record of it. That's how I used to write my blog posts.
Yeah. You used to write your blog post by hand?
No, I used to write my blog posts about seed catalogs and what seeds I ordered. Remember, I used to tell people what
Oh,
to order?
okay.
I would
Yeah.
use the email. You just drifted off somewhere
I was just like, I
because
heard you
I was
say
putting
that's
on lipstick in the middle of in the middle of
that.
the
I'm like, what is she talking about? So anyway,
meal.
the thing to do though, if you've gardened before, you know not to get overwhelmed. And you got to think about now, how big is my garden little really, or how little is my garden really,
Mhm.
and sort of ratchet things back. So order tried and true, so you know you'll have some success. And we always go back to green beans. We always
Mhm.
it's good to try new varieties because you might have a new tried and true on your hands. But I would not get all, googly eyed about all the brand new stuff because unless it's really something special. And if you're not sure, you can always ask us, is that something special?
We tried them all.
Yeah. I'd also challenge yourself to grow things that maybe are a little harder than what you're used to growing, just so you can see, hey, I can do that.
Hmm.
And then
Tomatoes, strawberries, things
yeah.
like that aren't the easiest thing ever.
And then think about the quantities because some of the sites, like I know Johnny Selected Seeds,
They have smaller quantities and big ones.
yeah, and so you don't need an ounce of tomato seeds.
You might have zinnias, but not anything else.
I don't think you need an ounce of zinnia seeds.
I just give you a hard time.
Now, some people go crazy trying to price compare between all the
No, I
different.
can't do all that stuff. No.
Don't do that. With shipping and everything, just pick one or two sources and order everything from them. And you can't nitpick. And don't forget to go to the store. Every place I go has got seed racks now.
Hmm. A lot of them do. Yeah. Even Target.
Even
They have
Target.
they have seeds of change. And
I
so does I think Walmart does. They have seeds of change, which is all
uh
organic. That's nice.
and Fresh Time grocery stores, I think they have seeds of change. For the longest time, they also had botanical interest seeds.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, and go to the your independent garden centers because they'll oftentimes have the botanical interest
Oh
seeds.
yeah.
They might have Renee's Garden Seeds, also another good source. So, if you want something a little bit different, try that. Don't turn your nose up at those Menard packets of Valley Green seeds that are like 49 cents a packet. You find some gems in there,
There you go.
and they
I
work.
don't have a Menards, so I can't do that, but that's okay.
Let's go saving at Menards. Don't make me sing that song.
Please don't sing that song. You've done that. Okay, you ready for oh, we got to do a quote.
Yes.
It's yours.
I cannot remember a time when I was not in love with books. Eudora Welty.
And on our bookshelf this week is The Wild and Free Garden by Stephanie Rose, who we know of Garden Therapy. And it is, when is it coming out, Carol?
This book is coming out February the 24th, and it is from our friends at Cool Springs Press who sent us review copies. We requested this one when we saw the title and said, "Hey, could we look at that one?" And it is a fun book, Dee. I
It's
had
extremely fun and it's beautiful. And I love everything about it, honestly.
Yes, and she
But I
basically
like
is
Stephanie a lot. I have always
yes.
liked her. I used to talk to her a lot on Twitter back when it was Twitter.
So transform your outdoor space with found materials, community sharing, and creative ingenuity. And I didn't know this about Stephanie, or if I did, I'd forgotten. So she used to be a marketing director until
Hmm.
2006. And I don't know what her sudden illness is, but she was in bed for almost 2 years.
Yeah, she was very, very sick for a
And
while.
then she came out and got interested in gardening. She became a master gardener. She's up there in Vancouver in Canada.
Hmm.
She has a ton of books to her credit. And I think I have some of these. We talked about the regenerative garden, 80 practical projects for creating a self-sustaining garden ecosystem.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that one.
And so this one, there are just a ton of really good ideas in here about, in new ways, because we've been told, recycle, upcycle, reuse, re redo everything. And she's got some really good ideas on here about how you can do that. She's got stuff on propagation, on
And she
sharing.
interviewed people. She interviewed different people.
Yes.
And I like that it's on page 19, and she says, start with wonder, an invitation to rediscover nature. And then down at the bottom, she shows a drawing from our friend Sue Getz.
Oh, yes.
She's
I know
from
Sue.
Tacoma, Washington, and she's an amazing, amazing person too. One of
She
the
is. We've talked
people.
about her books before.
I like Sue a lot. I actually got her to take me to go get dairy-free ice cream once. I think just all of this information is so timely. The pictures are beautiful. I think it's got a lot of really good information, creating a garden map, why it's important, how to use permaculture zones to help design your space. There's just a lot of really good information.
Right. And it's good information about open up your garden gate and get involved gardening with others.
Right.
And she has like group buying to save money, so everybody goes in together and you can buy stuff like in larger quantities together and then split it up. And I like some of the recycling that she's done, reusing old materials and stuff, and really creating a very lovely garden.
And she reuses old terracotta, unique terracotta pots. I love this on page 55 and 54. And it's exactly how I garden. I mean, I love old terracotta too, and use a lot of it. And old concrete. I love old concrete also.
Right.
That's all upcycling. We need
Yes.
that.
And
And then,
the wild in the title is Wildness is Our History When Life Was Simpler and Intertwined with Family and Neighbors and in Tune with Nature. And the free part is freedom is our abundance found by sourcing well-crafted, long-lasting items for free, celebrating personal style, and sharing with the community.
I love that.
I love that too.
She has a vintage trailer in her garden.
You know what? I can't have a vintage trailer in my garden here.
No, they wouldn't let you.
And they're very cute when you have them, but goodness gracious, they are, you just roll that in and you've got a wonderful space to spend like a rainy afternoon
Hmm.
sitting in there watching the garden from the trailer. It's just different than watching it from your own house, isn't it?
Hmm. Oh yeah, totally different. It's like my little she shed.
Yes. So
Yeah.
anyway, I really am enjoying this book and I'm happy to have a review copy. It's going to stay in my library.
I
Probably
like
going
the
to,
projects, but I like the fact that they're actually practical.
yes.
They're not just projects for project's sake. Like she built a dry riverbed and it's on page 88 and 89 and 90 and 91. And she shows exactly how you do it. And it's not the easiest thing to do. And how to do a stepping stone patio in an afternoon. I've done all these projects for various clients over the years. So
It's
they're
nice.
very practical and I admire that about her.
I
It's a
do.
good book.
Yes. Show it again, Dee. Let's say the
The Wild
title.
and Free Garden by Stephanie Rose of Garden Therapy. And we're going to give you the Amazon link.
There you go. And the bookshop.org link.
Both. And thank you guys for buying from both of them because we've actually gotten some money for the podcast, which really helps. All
Yes,
right, shall I do the next quote?
you shall.
For those who have experienced the joy of being alone with nature, there is really little need for me to say more. For those who have not, no words of mine can ever describe the powerful, almost mystical knowledge of beauty and eternity that comes suddenly and unexpected. Jane Goodall. Love that quote.
That is very good.
You found the dirt, and it's about how roses are not red in terms of they didn't start out as red.
No. And so this is an article, and we've had this on our dirt list for a while. And I thought, this kind of fits in with Dee's topic of how I would start a rose garden from scratch.
Hmm.
And so these were botanists in China. They said reconstructing the ancestral traits through genomic analysis revealed that all the roads trace back to a common ancestor, a single petal flower with yellow cover and color and seven leaflets.
Yep. In
So
the
the
very, very beginning. Yeah.
yes, and they went on to say that there are over 150 to 200 species of roses, more than 35,000 cultivars. Good luck picking out the ones you want. Um, a wide range of blooming frequencies, fragrances, and colors, and talked about how the rose breeders are shifting away from cosmetic traits to more disease resistance, to more stress resistant, like to be able to handle drought,
Yeah.
disease, make them
Hmm.
easier to care for. And you can definitely see a change in the market in my lifetime from the
Sure.
teas that required, you
Mhm.
know,
Basically intensive care.
yes. And
Not now.
I still have on a DVD this interview with a woman in Long Island who tended roses, and it showed her suiting up to spray her roses.
I remember those. Yeah.
Gas mask, the whole shebang.
Oh, that's so scary.
Yes, it was scary. I should find that old DVD and uh
Ooh.
I'll send it to you, Dee. No,
Yeah,
don't.
thanks.
No, no, no.
I'm not worried about it. I saw a lot of that kind of thing. It was quite the deal at the time.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I used to, I'm trying to get that off my computer. I used to spray back in the old days. I don't now. And I know they're also working on trying rose rosette virus is still a big deal. And they're working on trying to create roses that have a resistance to that. They're having some luck.
All right, I'll do a new quote for the rabbit holes. Don't you know that day dawns after night, showers displace drought, and spring and summer follow winter? Then have hope. Hope forever, for God will not fail you. Charles Spurgeon, whom we talked about a few weeks ago.
We did. So that takes us to our rabbit holes. And I went down one about Stayman Winesap apples. And that was because I was eating lunch and another friend on the K game who's named Villanari, she asked me what I was eating. And I said, well, I'm eating a disappointing Fuji apple. And she said, why is it disappointing? And I said, because I like apples that have crunch, tartness, sweetness, complexity of flavor. And this is crispy, but that's all it's got going for it. And she said, I love Stayman Winesap apples. And I said, I do too, but they're very hard to find now. And they are. And there's a reason why. Winesap apples in particular are hard to find for a lot of reasons. And one of it is that their bloom time doesn't correspond well with many modern apples, and it's very short. And so, what are planted, it's an heirloom apple, and the stamen is definitely an heirloom apple. And it's now several growers grow them for local markets, for heirloom markets.
Sure.
So it's a hard one to pollinate. It's not consistent all the time, but it's one of the best tasting apples on the market. And I found a very small article about it. But she asked me, she goes, I wonder why you can't find them anymore. And I went, and I started typing and telling her why. And I said, sorry, my inner horticultural geek came out. And she goes, ooh, I love it. So that was fun. Gave me
That is
my
fun.
gave me my rabbit hole because I had to go look it up to make sure I told her the right thing. So what about you?
So, I was minding my business and I had remembered Catherine White wrote that a whole thing about seed catalogs. I went and got my book. Then I flipped to the back where she has lists of books.
Hmm.
And so I start going through there and finding all the women authors and getting in my mindset that if a book was published in like the 60s or 70s,
Uh-huh.
that author might be deceased.
Might be.
It might qualify as a lost lady in a garden right. And even though the 70s was not that far, not that far back.
It's pretty far anymore, but
So
yes, I see what you're
I
saying here.
I started listing them and then doing searches and then grabbing links and filling up my Trello board. And I just kind of got all wacky with it. And it's like, before I know it, it's like, I better finish updating these show notes and have my lunch for Dee's ready to record the podcast. So I have a whole new list. I found one for this week that be writing about. And the only thing I'll say, this comes out on Tuesday early. I'll just say this. She was born in Ireland.
Cool. Cool. Okay.
Okay.
Gardening commissions. I'm going to start going through my books this week and deciding what's going to stay, what's not going to stay.
I need to do the same. I did
For
a big
gardening books, regular. I have so many books, Carol.
I need to do another purge because my shelves, I think, okay, I have room for more. But I keep accidentally buying these middlebrow books that were, written like right before and after World War II by English authors. And they've been republished by Dean Street Press and Persephone Books. And I'm like, oh. So I try if like the library has it, I'm getting it and reading it from the library, but they don't have so many of these. And I'm like,
No, they don't, because they were sadly went out of print, and thank goodness for Persephone and the other
Dean
company.
Street Press is the other
Yeah,
one.
the other one. Thank goodness for them. Okay.
So yeah, I need to do the same.
What
Take a
else are you
big.
gonna do?
Um, I'm going to bring in my little pots of snowdrops. Now, the reticulated iris to me, it looks like it has aphids on it out there in the garage, and I'm thinking,
Mm, mm.
I might give that a big, strong bath and but if it comes in, it's got to go like all by itself somewhere because I do not
Mhm.
need an infestation of aphids inside the house.
Mm-mm.
So
Or
got to finish.
infestation of anything.
Yeah, got to finish up
Stink
my.
bugs inside the house.
Yes, I got to finish up my seed list, adding the stuff from National Garden Bureau. I might do some winter sowing.
I'm not going
Uh,
to do that this year.
I'm gonna do it.
Mm.
I haven't decided when, and people are like posting their winter sowing already. It's like I I don't have to have it out this week or next week. I still have plenty of time because a lot of the seed doesn't really need the cold stratification. It's not going to hurt it, but it'll just germinate when it's warmer. So I'm not in a big rush, but I am going to get out the patio palace of propagation, as I call it, set it up out
Hmm.
there. So anyway, that'll be my week.
Sounds like a good one. Okay, so I'm going to do the quote. And though I oft have passed them by, a day will come at last when I shall take the hidden path that runs west of the moon, east of the sun. That's by J.R.R. Tolkien, and it's from the trilogy. So it's not from The Hobbit, it's from the trilogy. So
Lord of the Rings.
yeah, thank you.
You're
We didn't write
welcome.
it down and my brain just fried for a second. Now we're going to talk about a garden to visit. And this is a garden that I've been to 2 times or three. How many times have you been?
I've been three, twice with you and once without you.
Okay, so I may not have gone with, I may have taken the kids there when we went to Chicago, but it doesn't matter. We'll talk about the 2 times we went together.
So the Lurie Garden is in Millennium Park in Chicago, right
Central,
downtown.
Central downtown.
And it is a very wide, big, wild garden. It was designed by Pete Oldolf, so a very famous garden.
Hmm.
And we both saw it at the end of May, and it was blooming like crazy with sages, purple
Hmm.
sages with pops of yellow
Baptisia.
baptisia.
See, I helped you there.
There you
Yellow
go.
baptisia, rivers of salvia, blue salvia, and it also had a lot of prairie smoke in it. I'll never
Yes, it
forget. It was the most, I still have pictures of it and I probably can find them. I that was so stunning. I was amazed. And it has these hedges. I actually know a lot about the Lurie Garden because I wrote an article about it for Garden Design magazine.
okay.
And so it has these hedges that enclose that one section of it, the section that Pete designed, and they call those the shoulders of the garden. And it's just amazingly famous. There's a squirrel drinking out of the water fountain. Hope Bill doesn't see the squirrel. He hates the squirrels, but nobody tell him. Okay, well, anyway, so that section, and then later you and I saw it together in summer.
Yes, in August.
And it was totally different.
Totally different. Lots of compass
Black-eyed
plants with
Susans.
black-eyed Susans,
Mhm.
compass plants. It was more what you would think of a typical fall prairie, I would say, early fall
Yeah, it was
prairie.
beautiful.
It was beautiful. And
Beautiful.
the other time I saw it was in July.
Hmm.
I was on a business trip and I told the person who, like, I was forced to go to a Microsoft meeting nearby. And I said, as long as we have time to walk the Lurie Garden afterwards, I'll go to this dumb meeting.
Right.
So it
Right.
was nice. And this person, she worked for Microsoft and literally they're a block. They overlooked the garden.
How lucky are they?
She had never been in it. And
Oh,
I
that's good.
said, you must come into this garden every time you come downtown. It's just sinful not to come in here and
Mhm.
relax for a minute and be surrounded by so much nature. And you can see, look up and you see all the big buildings of Chicago, but you just feel like you're someplace completely different.
Yeah, you do. And that's why it has those big hedges around it. And then at the other end of it is the bean, which is their famous statue that's reflective. I'll never forget that garden. And if I go back to Chicago, I will go through it yet again because it's amazing. Now, the Chicago Botanic Garden is also amazing, and we'll talk about it another time, but it's in a totally different part of Chicago. And I wrote an article about it too.
Okay, we'll put a link to Lurie Garden and so that people can read more
We
about
might
it
be
if
able
they
to
want.
find my article from Garden Design.
Well, that'll be your assignment to find that, Dee.
Okay, sounds
And
fun.
with that, we are done for today. I'm going to wrap us up or start the wrap up. Thank you for listening to the Garden Angelist. We publish every week on Wednesdays at 12 a.m. Eastern Time. Be sure and follow us on Apple Podcasts. That helps us get noticed by others.
If you subscribe to our Substack newsletter, you'll get a link to listen to the podcast a whole day early and links to the products we discuss. Plus, go over to YouTube and see us in person. Full episodes show up on Tuesdays. So, if you can't wait until Wednesday, you now have 2 ways to get episodes on Tuesdays.
And if you want to help support us, use our affiliate links. If you buy something after clicking through on them, we earn a small commission and it costs you nothing extra.
Or you can set up a monthly subscription through Buzzsprout or make a one-time donation through PayPal. You also have the option of pledging your support on Substack.
Thank you to everyone who has done so. It helps us pay for podcast hosting.
It was lovely to chat with all of you over the garden gate. Bye until next week.
Bye, everybody.